Okay, so this is the fifth question. The question is about trigonometry. So it is, in this question, solutions based entirely on graphical or numerical methods are not acceptable. So basically we have to use both of the methods, right? Now in the first part, they are asking us to solve for this range. They've given us the range, and then this is the equation, 5 sine 3 theta minus 7 cos 3 theta equals 0. Give each solution in radians to 3 significant figures. Don't forget these 2 points when writing your answers. Now, because it is in radians, we should make sure that our calculators are switched to radians mode. Now, I'm going to start with the first part here. Here what I'm going to do is, because the angle used here is 3 theta, as you can see in the question, sine 3 theta and cos 3 theta, I'm going to change the range, because here the range is just in terms of theta, so I'm just going to write it down in terms of 3 theta so it's more relevant to the question. So we're going to start with that. So we have 3 theta is greater than 0 times 3 is 0, so it's just going to stay 0. And then here, pi by 2 times 3 would be 3 pi by 2, so 3 by 2 pi. This is the new range that we're going to use to solve. Now, to start, I'm going to rewrite the equation as it is, or let's just skip that step here. So because I have 5 sine 3 theta minus 7 cos 3 theta equals 0, I'm going to add 7 cos 3 theta to both sides of the equation, which is going to give me 5 sine 3 theta equals 7 cos 3 theta. Now that I have one term on this side and one on this side, I can see that I can divide both sides of this equation by cos 3 theta. That will give me sine 3 theta over cos 3 theta, which is equal to tan 3 theta, and then cos 3 theta over cos 3 theta would be just 1. If you remember this identity, I'm just going to write it down here. So tan of an angle, let's say alpha, is sine of that angle over the cosine of that angle. So that's what I'm going to use here. So I've got 5 sine 3 theta over cos 3 theta equals 7. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5 at the same time. So I have here tan 3 theta equals 7/5. Now, in order to find the angle 3 theta, I'm going to take the inverse tan on both sides, which will give me 3 theta is equal to the inverse tan of 7/5. Another thing that you must look at here, because now we're going to move on to the graph, which is here. If you remember this graph, A, S, T, C. So in the first quadrant, all of them, all sine, cosine, and tan, all of them are positive. In the second one, only sine is positive. In the third quadrant, only tan is positive. And in the fourth quadrant, only cosine is positive. Here, we have tan 3 theta equals 7/5. Here, it's positive. Tan 3 theta is positive. So we know that the solution lies in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant. I'm just going to draw this line. It doesn't have to be drawn to scale or anything. You just draw 2 lines, one in the first quadrant and the other one in the third quadrant, because here it's positive. If, for example, we had tan 3 theta equals negative 7/5, we would have written, made the lines here in the second quadrant and in the fourth quadrant, because tan is negative in these two. Now, when I use my calculator to find the inverse tan of 7/5, I get 0.9505. So that tells me that this angle right here is 0.9505 and so on. And that also tells me that this angle right here is also 0.95 and so on, right? Now, first solution, I'm going to do this in red. The first solution that we have for 3 theta is this one. This angle right here. And the second one is this one. We always find our solutions from this line, from the 0 degrees or 0 radians to the line. So from here to here, this one is clear, it's 0.9505, and then this one would be, because here it's pi by 2 and here it's pi radians, so we know that pi plus 0.95, right? So I'm just gonna do that here. So 3 theta equals 0.9505, and it is also equal to pi plus 0.9505. So whatever answer we had in the calculator, I'm just gonna go ahead and say plus pi, and that gives me 4.09 and so on, which is this. Right? These are the two solutions. Now, don't stop here, because make sure that you have the solutions to theta, not to 3 theta. Here we have found it as 3 theta is equal to this and this, but we have to make sure that we divide by 3 so that we get the answer, we get the values of theta and not just 3 theta, right? So I'm just going to switch to black again, and now here I'm going to write theta equals 0.9505 divided by 3, alright? That is equal to 0.9505. Wait a second. 0.9505 divided by 3 gives me 0.3168. So to 3 significant figures, it would be 0.317 radians, and another solution is 4.092, and so on, divided by 3. 4.092 divided by 3 gives me 1.364, which is 1.36 to 3 significant figures. So 1.36 radians. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that because we changed the range here, the range that we have is from 0 radians to 3 by 2 pi radians. You can see here that this is 0, this is pi by 2, this is pi, this is 3 pi by 2, and then here we got 2 pi again, right? We gotta make sure that our lines that we're doing, that we're making, lie in the range. If we were using this range, which is from 0 to pi by 2, we would only have this solution, this one, because this is the only one that lies in this range, and this does not. But because we changed the range because of our angle that we had here, the angle was 3 theta, so we multiplied this range by 3, and now these two lines that we have, they both lie between the new range that we had found from 0 to 3 pi by 2. So these are both fine here. But we got to make sure that we draw the lines according to our range. Sometimes the range is even more than 2 pi. Then we have to basically add 2 pi. For example, if we've gone here, and then we would also go one more time and then add another 2 pi to 0.95 to get all the solutions that we need. So we have to make sure that we look at the range, we have to make sure that we look at the angle type, if we have radians or we have degrees, and then for the final answer we have to make sure that it's in the correct number of significant figures. Another thing is the angle here, because it was 3 theta, we make sure that we switch our range according to that, and then in the end we have to make sure that we divide the answer, the solutions, by 3 or whatever number we multiplied the range by.